Hey guys, it's Johnny with Cayenne Precision, and we're back here today to introduce this little guy right here, the 1913 CP key for the Streamlight TLR-1 HL. Before we get started, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. We certainly appreciate it when you guys do that. Since we introduced our 1913-1 CP key for the new Streamlight TLR-1 HL X, we've had a lot of guys reach out about having the same issue with the TLR-1 HL and ask if we could develop a key for that as well. We actually had several different key requests. That's just the one that we've had the most of, so that's the next one that we decided to work on. There are a lot of people having trouble with TLR-1 HL coming loose during the normal use of this light when you're using it for its intended purposes. We'll just leave it at that. And a lot of that can be contributed to Streamlight's 1913 key being way out of spec. I love Streamlights. We have dozens of them here in the shop. We support them on a multitude of platforms in the holster business, but their keys absolutely suck. So we hopped on the CAD program, and the 1913 CP key for the TLR-1 HL was born. We're going to go through here. I'm going to get my cheapo calibers out, and we're going to measure this rail, measure their 1913 key they include, measure our key, and then we're going to test fit both of these on the rails. And I'm also going to show you how to install this key if you choose to get it. So we'll get into that. First, we'll take this. This is just a standard 1913 Picatinny rail section that I have here on my desk. We're going to put it on here with the Streamlight included 1913 key. And I'm going to show you guys where the problem is. Tighten this down a little bit. That back and forth movement right there is your problem, guys. When you're using this light for its intended purposes, that is your issue. That working back and forth in conjunction with this. 99% of the failures of this light staying attached will be contributed to this cross screw torque and this can't even hold on to it. This sloppy key fitment right here. So let's get this out of here. Let's take a look at some of the measurements on here and see what's going on. So the measurement on this Picatinny rail section, and there's no actual spec for Picatinny. It has a plus minus tolerance in the spec sheet. So each one is a little bit different. Keep that in mind. But let's take a look at this. So we are at 5.23. 5.23 millimeters is the spacing on that Picatinny rail section. Now let's take a look at Streamlight's key, 4.77. 4.77 to 5.23, that's not gonna work, guys. That right there is where some of your problem is. We'll take a look at this key, and we are at, let me get it squared up in here. We're at 5.19 right there. This is, you're talking 5.19 to 5.23 millimeters. So if you're wondering how much that is, pull out a hair. So next, I'm going to show you guys how to install this key into your TLR-1 HL if you decide to get it. This is a simpler installation in some ways than other Streamlights because you do not have to remove the cross screw where you have to take the keeper off of this side and all of that stuff. So what you'll need to do is get the right size Allen wrench for this screw right here and just remove this screw from the chassis. Now I know the screw holds this in here tight, but this just goes back to tolerances, guys. Without this screw in here, I want you to look at how the Streamlight key fits in the chassis. That right there is a no-go to me. Even though the screw holds it tight, that just shows you sloppy tolerance right there. So just lift this key out, or you can just turn your light over and dump it out. And then we're going to install our 1913 CP key back into the chassis. Before we do that, sorry I got ahead of myself because I'm talking about the slop in here. This key, everything on this I engineered to be tight, guys. The tolerance is supposed to be tight. You will have to reuse this nut that is in the bottom of your factory Streamlight key. The easiest way that I've found to get this out is just take a little pick, hook the inside of the nut, lift the nut out, and there you have it. So everything is tight on here, including this slot on the bottom of this that is cut for that nut. So the easiest way to install that is to set the nut up on its end like so, line it up with the key. Well, don't do that, guys. That right there is how you don't install this. Push it in like that, take your thumbnail, make sure it's seated. Sometimes this will be canted just a little bit. You'll need to get it on a hard surface and press it down, or your pick or whatever, and orient it the right way, because it is very tight going in there, and it is actually designed inside in the shape of the nut. So you may have to adjust it to get it in there, but once you get that seated, then just take this and place it back in your chassis. Now, we have that much movement with our key in there. And this is, like I said, this screw holds this in place, but it's still important to me that that fit in there as tight as possible and not just slop around like that. So then you just reinstall the retainer screw. And on this, guys, you want it tight, but you don't need to do anything crazy here, because as with my key, as with the factory key, whatever, you get completely crazy with torquing this, you can twist the nut inside the plastic. So just get it down there, give it a good snug turn, and it is installed. So then we will take and put the rail back on it, tighten this down a little bit, and then back it off so it's not just locked on there. And that is your movement, guys. There is none. Check that out. That right there will eliminate most of your problems. Put that key in there, brings it up to spec, fills in the rail gap so there's no back and forth movement. You add the key, you torque this down nice and tight. Do not leave it loose. Don't do it with your fingers. Tighten it down with your fingers as hard as you can. Then take a dime, a nickel, screwdriver, whatever. Put a little bit of extra torque on this. Just don't be crazy and try to snap the cross screw. This torque down properly in conjunction with the key will stop the issue of this light deciding to leave the chat during the middle of what you were using it for. So anyway, guys, there you have it. That is our 1913 CP key for the Streamlight TLR-1 HL. We already actually have those live. A link is down in the description of this video. So anyway, we have some other keys in development. We've had a lot of requests. A lot of guys are reaching out saying, hey, I have this light, needs to go on this, and can you help me, because it keeps flying off. A lot of guys using the GL keys, they're having them fly off during use. We are working on a fix for that. It'll probably be the next one to come out. We do these when we have time, because we have the holster business going on, and then also when we're in here in the design room, we also have other stuff that we're trying to design. So these are something that kind of comes in last on that. We start getting a lot of requests for the same thing, then we kind of bump it up. But we do these as time allows. This one we just had so many requests for that we decided to set some time aside, develop this, and get it ready to go. So if you're needing a key, if you're having an issue and you think the key is the issue, and you're needing a specific key, still having Biden moments, reach out to us. We have nearly all of Streamlight's offerings in-house, so we have the luxury of having their factory keys and stuff in their chassis to take a look at and work off of. So if you guys are needing a key that we don't currently offer, shoot us a message. We'll tell you where we stand on it, what the timeline looks like, and then we'll put it in our ideas box so that as we work through these, the most popular ones always get the attention first. So anyway, guys, that wraps it up for this one. We will be back for another one. Not sure what it'll be, but we'll see you in that one. Before you leave, again, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. We certainly appreciate it when you guys do that. Thanks.